We can speak to Professor Renaud Foucart joining us on the line from Lancaster, England. Hello to you, and thank you for speaking to Paris Direct. The composition of this new French government, I believe we see 10 ministers from the Republican Party who came in fourth place in June's elections, about 12 from Macron-affiliated parties, no one from either the two biggest voting blocs in Parliament. Prime Minister Michel Barnier going on national television this evening. How is he going to sell this to the French people?
He's going to sell this as I am a man of responsibility. I've been asked to take responsibility and bring France back on track. So I don't think he will enter into any political discussion about the left or the far right, because in the end, it's very uncomfortable. On the left, he knows that somehow most of the parliamentarians who will support him from the center owe their seat to an alliance between the left and the center, the Republican front. And on the other side, I don't think he wants to speak too much about the fact that his government needs the support of the far right to exist. So his only way, I think, to defend himself will be to talk about his own personality, to say that he's here to find solutions. And perhaps it might work because it seems that at the moment, Barnier remains a pretty popular figure in France. After being totally unknown, perhaps 2 weeks ago, nobody in France had heard of him.
Yeah, but is this a democracy in action or is this a travesty of democracy? I mean, it's a very difficult situation here, but is this working democratic politics or not?
On October 1st, Barnier will make his first speech, and there will be a possibility to censor him. If there is no majority censoring him, it means that de facto he has a majority. So in that sense, stricto sensu, this is democratic. Now, obviously, I think everyone who attended the French election, who followed that, noticed that the second round was a referendum against the far right, that the far right lost, and that the government that will be in power will be a government that is held hostage by the far right, so the far right will have a chance to pull the plug at any time. So in that sense, it may, and I think there is a good case to say it's undemocratic, but the blame game, I don't know exactly who's to blame, because somehow the left will say, we wanted to have Lucie Castet as Prime Minister, we were the first bloc, it's Macron's fault, he didn't nominate us, and Macron will say, no, the problem is that there was a need for a coalition, the need for a consensus between the center and the left, and the problem is that you didn't want to make that consensus. So we don't know why. This is kind of a last resort government. It is democratic in fact, perhaps not completely in spirit. It's not the result of the election, clearly.
Yeah, and if a measure is brought forward to censor him or a no confidence vote, will this cabinet survive?
So if there is a no confidence vote, the question is, what does the far right do? At the moment, Marine Le Pen has said, we will not censor. So I think if Macron has chosen Barnier, there must be some kind of deal. There must be some kind of discussion with Marine Le Pen that says that at least at the beginning she will support it, because it's a big bet for Macron, choosing someone out of his hat, which was not a big name advanced by either party. If Barnier is censored immediately, it would be totally humiliating for Macron. So I would expect that the far right is supporting Barnier. This is also something you see in the choice of Barnier himself, with a very conservative figure of some of his ministers who have, you've talked about that, a background of being anti-abortion, anti-gay rights, and things like that. So this is a very conservative cabinet that is meant to be somehow wooing the far right. If they don't support it this time, abstaining means support in a vote of no confidence. If they don't support it this time, Barnier will be censored, but I don't think it will happen, at least at the beginning.
Running out of time, but real quickly, of the 39 posts, which one caught your eye the most?
I think perhaps the absence of any heavyweight. So the fact that I didn't know most of them. I think this is a government. Clearly, people are scared of going there, and none of the big names of the far right or of the center is there. So I think the one that's the most surprising to me is the absence of Laurent Wauquiez. So not the biggest guy from the right prefer to stay outside and hide.
All right, Renaud. Thank you very much. Renaud Foucart speaking to us from Lancaster. Thank you.